This week's parasha talks about the Megadef, the blasphemer, also known as the Mekalel, the cursor. It's a story of a Ben Ish Israelit, as the pasuk says. It's a son of a Jewish mother, Vehu Ben Ish Mitzri, who's also the son of an Egyptian. According to Chazal, he's the only child born in the desert from an intermixing of parents of a Jew and a non-Jew. Everybody else is either a convert or a full convert, or it's a Jewish father and a Jewish mother. He's the only one whose mother is Jewish and father is not. I actually have a different post where I go into detail of who this guy is, what's his background, who his parents were. If you want the full details, it's a longer shiur that I've posted. But this guy over here curses, he goes out into the camp, he gets into a fight with another Jew, and at the end of that fight, he curses the name of God, and the parasha goes, what's his punishment? It goes through a back and forth, and finally God says he should be killed. That's the very end of this week's parasha. Okay, I want to focus on a midrash that Rashi brings down. Says the midrash in Midrash Rabbah, the parasha started off, Vayetze ben Isha Israelit, and the son of a Jewish woman went out. Where did he go out from? Vayetze, from where? So Rashi quotes the midrash, and the second opinion of the midrash says Rav Brechia, he went out from the very last section that we've been discussing in the Torah. The very last section right before spoke about the Lehem Hapanim. The Lehem Hapanim were the bread of faces, the special show bread that was in the Mishkan, on the Shulchan, in the Kodesh, in the Holies. Every week there would be 12 loaves of bread that would be baked. It'd be baked Erev Shabbat, and on Shabbat the Kohanim would come in and they would replace the week before's bread with the new fresh bread, and then the Kohanim themselves would split the bread between each other, and they would eat last week's bread. And according to Midrash, there was a miracle, and every week was still fresh after a full week went by. Says the Megadef in the Midrash, he says, can it really be? And he says, ligleg, he made fun of this mitzvah. He said, can it really be that God would eat stale bread? He says, a king eats fresh bread. Here in the Middle East, in Israel, in Europe as well, people always want fresh bread. We don't want bread with preservatives. We don't want that American bread where they put weird stuff in it. We want fresh bread. And it says he made fun. How could it be of a mitzvah that God would make it that, because what would happen? You'd make the bread before the first Shabbat, and it would stay on the Shulchan the whole week, and only the next week, the next Shabbat, they would take it off and eat it, I think, Motzei Shabbat. And so a couple of days would go by, and the Midrash says 9 days would go by until you'd finally eat it. And it's a busha. How could God have stale bread? That's what he made fun of, and that's when he ultimately curses God. Okay, I heard a beautiful pshat said in the name of one of the Gera Rebbes. Says the Gera Rebbe, he says, I don't understand. But we know, Chazal tell us, the bread was fresh. There was a miracle that took place every week, and after a week, they would have fresh bread. So what's he making fun of? So says the Gera Rebbe, the bread was called Lehem Hapanim, which literally means the bread of faces. And Rashi explains that the bread, if you ever saw a picture book, looked like goalposts with faces facing each other. Like it would look like kind of like a U shape, and each side faces the other. That's why it's called Lechem Hapanim, according to the simple explanation. Says the Ger Rebbe, he says, no. Lechem Hapanim, panim means masha bifnim, what's inside. He said the bread itself would bring out what's inside of you, and how you looked at the bread, how you focused and looked at that mitzvah, that's what you would see back. So says the Ger Rebbe, if you would approach the mitzvah with excitement, with alacrity, with I'm so happy, simcha, I want to do this mitzvah, you would see the freshest, warmest, most delicious looking bread. But if you'd approach it with krirut, with coldness, and you have a stale look at the mitzvah, you're not excited at all, it really would be stale. So he said, this Ben Isha Israelit approached the mitzvot without excitement, without simcha. And he says, ultimately, that's going to cause him to curse all the mitzvot. Because if you're not, of course, to curse God ultimately. Because if you're not excited about the mitzvah, about mitzvot in general, it's going to lead to you making fun of the mitzvot, which is ultimately going to lead to just cursing it, giving it all up, leaving this world. The first interpretation of the Midrash, it says he left this world. He gave a pope, he did a sin that was so great that he was done with. But all that came from lacking excitement. So I give us a beracha that we should be able to approach the mitzvot in the exact opposite way, with simcha, with chamimut, with excitement, with zrizut, so that the bread of the lechem hapanim would show its pifnim and be the warmest, most delicious looking bread possible. Shabbat shalom.